Well, you may have noticed recently that Carrie Underwood has been on the cover of magazines talking about her struggle with multiple miscarriages. Did you know that 15 to 20% of pregnancies end in miscarriage and sometimes stillbirth? It's heartbreaking. This affects so many couples. October is Stillbirth and Infant Loss Awareness Month. A local mother and a dear friend of mine, Kristen Wessel, is here, along with Susan Heck from Comfort Cub. They're joining us to talk about the support that's available right here in our county. Ladies, thank you so much for coming in. We do appreciate your time.
Thank you for having us.
And Kristen, folks might recognize you, longtime reporter and anchor right here in San Diego. Sort of take us back a few months to the beginning of this year. You really had a really tough experience. What happened?
Yeah, I was 22 weeks pregnant with my third baby. It was a boy. As you know, a mother of two, I was busy, kind of just going through routine ultrasounds, and went to a routine ultrasound at 22 weeks, and there was no heartbeat. It was devastating. It was completely out of nowhere and unexpected, and it rocked my world, to say the least. And I think, you know, after going through that and losing our son, who we named Jameson, I really looked for answers and was lost, and wanted to find support. And I think it's taboo to talk about, but I think that once I started really sharing my story, I found that there's so many people that suffer from miscarriages and stillbirths. Even though they are rare, they do happen, and I find that sharing can be healing, because it's what connects families and connects women. It doesn't have to be such a dark time, which it was for me. But I think that by talking about these organizations, hopefully I can shed some light to other people, and you know, show people that there is help out there.
The isolation has to be one of the toughest parts about this. People don't know what to say, and they're afraid if they bring it up, they'll ruin your day.
Right.
They're afraid if they say something wrong, they'll make it worse. That probably made you feel so alone, because people didn't know what to do. Absolutely.
Even family, like, people don't know what to say. And I have two small children at home. Life goes on. You know, I still have carpool and sports and a job, and, you know, life goes on. And that's the toughest part, is that people move on, but it's still something that is at the forefront of my mind. And I wanted to talk about it. And I found through organizations with people who have gone through similar circumstances, it really helped me to feel not alone and to feel heard.
Absolutely. And Susan, I want to bring you into the conversation as well. You're with an organization called Comfort Cub, which brings out these teddy bears, which are specially weighted. Talk about these bears and what they do.
Well, the Comfort Cub is a weighted therapeutic teddy bear, and it does bring a value of a therapeutic value to those that have had a loss or have gone through a severe trauma. The weight of the bear actually elicits your body to release the good neurotransmitters in your body, and it brings about a feeling of calm and a feeling of wellness. So there's something very valuable to the weight of the Comfort Cub.
Where do people find that, and isn't it an appropriate, I don't want to say a gift, but item you can give somebody who's been through something like this?
Our Comfort Cubs can be purchased on our website, thecomfortcub.org. We also do quite a bit of donating to those that can't afford a Comfort Cub. We've been given free of charge Comfort Cubs since 1999 to every hospital here in San Diego. And so we do that through the generous donations from different people.
Well, thank you for doing what you're doing. And Kristen, I know there's a couple of other organizations in town that are trying to help people who've been through this.
Yes, there is. There's Now I Lay Me Down to Sleep, and they offer remembrance photography for families who have been through stillbirths. We were fortunate enough to have photos taken of our son after we met him, and it was difficult at the time, but I'm so happy I have them now. It's something I'll treasure forever.
Absolutely.
And then there's another one called Empty Cradle, which is an online forum where people can talk about their experiences and get support that way. And they have remembrance walks, and it's just really meaningful to talk to other families that have been through it.
And we'll put that information on our website, thecwsandiego.com. I want to end our interview with this. When you're going through something like this, as I mentioned before, family and friends, they don't know what to say. What would have been helpful for you? What could have somebody done or said, or what did somebody do or say that you thought, you know, that they were spot on?
Yeah, and you know what, we've been so supported by family and friends. I have such a wonderful network, but I think the biggest thing is just how are you? You know, I think that sometimes because it is a little taboo, people forget to say, you know, how are you doing? And I think that the biggest thing is, at least for me, I like talking about it because it makes me feel like I'm not forgetting about my son, who was so real to me. And yeah, that would be the biggest thing. Just don't be afraid to talk about it and ask people how they're doing.
Right. I have a friend who works in hospice, and she helps families who are going through that tough time. And she said, you need to ask people, how are you doing today? Today, as opposed to just in general. Because in general, people normally respond with fine and try to move on. But if you say, how are you doing today? Is today a good day or is today a tough day? And that usually helps people start to open up. So you are so brave. And so awesome
well, you've
for
been such a
sharing
good
your
friend to me.
Well, yeah, I think I can relate to what you're going through, and I just think thank you for sharing your story, because I know this interview is going to help so many people out there. And Susan, thank you for what you're doing with Comfort Cub as well.
It's an honor.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks. Michelle, we'll get back to you.